Determination of pH of solutions of salts of ammonium chloride, sodium chloride, ammonium carbonate and sodium acetate using pH paper or universal indicator. Our aim here is to determine pH of solutions of salts of ammonium chloride, sodium chloride, ammonium carbonate and sodium acetate using pH paper or universal indicator. Theory: salts when dissolved in water gives either acidic, basic or neutral solution depending on the nature of the salt. Salts are formed by reaction between acid and base. Ammonium chloride is a salt of strong acid, that is hydrochloric acid, and a weak base, that is ammonium hydroxide. Hence, its aqueous solution is acidic and pH is less than 7. Sodium chloride is a salt of strong acid, that is hydrochloric acid, and a strong base, sodium hydroxide. Hence, its aqueous solution is neutral and pH is equal to 7. Ammonium carbonate is a salt of weak acid, that is carbonic acid, and a weak base, that is ammonium hydroxide. But the base is little more strong than the acid. Hence, its aqueous solution is slightly basic and pH is greater than 7. Sodium acetate is a salt of strong base, that is sodium hydroxide, and weak acid, that is acetic acid. Therefore, its aqueous solution is basic and pH is greater than 7. To perform this experiment, the apparatus required are test tubes with test tube stand, 10 ml measuring cylinder and a glass rod. The chemicals required are ammonium chloride, sodium chloride, ammonium carbonate, sodium acetate, pH paper or universal indicator and standard pH color chart. Let us perform the experiment. Label 4 clean test tubes as A, B, C, D. Take about 1 gram of ammonium chloride in test tube A. Add 10 ml distilled water using a measuring cylinder. Dissolve the salt by stirring it. In test tube B, take about 1 gram of sodium chloride. Add 10 ml distilled water using a measuring cylinder. Dissolve the salt by stirring it. In test tube C, take about 1 gram of ammonium carbonate. Add 10 ml distilled water using a measuring cylinder. Dissolve the salt by stirring it. In test tube D, take about 1 gram of sodium acetate. Add 10 ml distilled water using a measuring cylinder. Dissolve the salt by stirring it. Dip a small strip of pH paper into each solution for a few seconds. Or add 2 to 3 drops of universal indicator into each solution and shake the test tube. Observe the color developed on the pH paper or in the solution. What do you observe? The pH paper and the solution in test tube A turns yellowish orange in color. The pH paper and the solution in test tube B turns green in color. The pH paper and the solution in test tube C turns purple blue in color. The pH paper and the solution in test tube D turns blue in color, or the solution in test tube A turns yellowish orange in color. The solution in test tube B turns green in color. The solution in test tube C turns purple blue in color. The solution in test tube D turns blue in color. On comparing these colors with a standard pH color chart, we can say the pH of the solution in test tube A is about 4. The pH of the solution in test tube B is 7. The pH of the solution in test tube C is 10. The pH of the solution in test tube D is 11. Therefore, we can say salt solution of ammonium chloride is acidic in nature. Salt solution of sodium chloride is neutral in nature. Salt solution of ammonium carbonate is basic in nature, and salt of sodium acetate is basic in nature. Precautions to be taken. Do not mix up the salts. Wash the glass rod after dissolving each salt. Shake the solution after adding universal indicator.